Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And if you're a true General Hospital fan, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get started with today's video. Willow Kane, Caitlin McMullen will worry, Jordan Ashford, Tanisha Harper lashes out at someone, and Britt Westbourne, Kelly Thibault, offers a terrible warning in the latest General Hospital, GH, spoilers for Tuesday, July 14th. It's another busy day in Port Charles, so let's talk about all of the drama that's about to unfold. First and foremost, Willow will have a significant issue that she'll discuss with Jack Brennan, Chris McKenna. General Hospital spoilers reveal that while Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rhoda, is in detention, Willow is unable to obtain the paralytic that has put her husband, Drew Cameron Matheson, in a locked-in state. Willow gave him his final dose a few days ago and is aware that Drew's mobility recovery is running out of time. Willow may have noticed Drew's fingers flickering or toes wriggling, but she will inform Jack that he must act quickly to locate the evidence she requires to blackmail Drew into remaining quiet. Meanwhile, Kai Taylor, Jens Austin Astrup, will make a surprising discovery. Is it about Drew? Fans are aware that Kai works closely with Congresswoman Kane. When he sees something Drew-related, he'll most likely be over at the house dropping something off. Will he notice Drew's improved mobility? Will he inform someone? Fans will need to tune in to find out. In other events, General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday's episode suggest that Jordan Ashford, Tanisha Harper, and Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, will face off. Jordan tells Portia in the ad for the July 14th show, "You are the one who's dragging this whole thing." Jordan is clearly referring to the assault allegations against Curtis Ashford, Donnell Turner, specifically his battle with Isaiah Gannon, Andy Wilson. Not only has Isaiah charged Curtis, but he is also considering filing a civil lawsuit. On the one hand, Curtis injured Isaiah, and the surgeon is now unable to perform his job obligations. On the other hand, Isaiah provoked Curtis. Still, Portia will go into labor sometime this week. Does this fight with Jordan cause Portia to begin having contractions? Across town, Britt Westbourne, Kelly Thibault, will threaten someone. There's a clip in the GH teaser for July 14th that shows the Britch saying, "That's where you're wrong. I'm making it your problem." It's unclear who she's referring to, but it could be new surgeon Tristan Roberts Steengeyer. Summer spoilers indicate that Britt and Tristan will begin on rough ground. Since he landed in Port Charles during the Monday, July 13th concert, it appears like these two may cross paths and clash. Speaking of Tristan, he was on the same plane as Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, and assisted in his return home on Monday. It's unclear what their relationship is about, or whether Tristan is a member of the WSB, but the man organized a car for Jason at the airport and sat next to him on the plane. Jason will appear on Tuesday's episode, where he will update Danny Morgan, Asher and Tonizan, on his time away and confirm to his son that he is returning home permanently. In other news, General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, July 14th indicate that Valentine will be suspicious. He spoke with Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, during the July 13th episode. Did he notice anything off about her? Nonetheless, he'll share a scene with Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, as he warns the cop that Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens-Bruning, has embarked on a battle she'll eventually lose. After all, Lulu wishes to keep Charlotte Cassadine, Bluesy Burke, away from Valentine, but doing so will make the teen girl despise her mother. At the hospital, Elizabeth Liz Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, will establish some boundaries with another individual. Could this person be Tracy Quartermaine, Jane Elliott? Tracy is seen in front of the nurses' station during the July 14th GH preview, saying, "You would do well to be nice to me." Could she be referring to Elizabeth? After all, the nurse advocated for Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, and joined the hospital board when Tracy opposed on the July 13th episode. General Hospital spoilers remind viewers that Tracy has a habit of harboring grudges, and as a longtime board member, she is constantly at the hospital, so would she start poking at the nurse for her conduct on Monday's episode? General Hospital Tuesday, July 14th update. Willow's sheer panic, Britt's serious warning. Jordan lashes out. The antiseptic hum of monitors filled the air in the crowded halls of General Hospital as the afternoon sun crept through half-drawn curtains, casting long shadows across the waiting area. Willow Tate sat stiffly in a plastic chair, her fingers gripping the hem of her light blue blouse till it threatened to tear. Her heart hammered so loudly that she was certain the nurses at the station could hear it. Panic clutched at her throat, making it difficult to breathe. Everything she had struggled for, her fragile new beginning with Michael, her timid steps back toward motherhood, the delicate balance of her life after so much loss, felt like sand slipping through her grip. "Miss Tate," a nurse called softly, but Willow scarcely registered the words. Her mind flashed back to the strange phone call she had received just hours before. A distorted and unknown voice whispered threats about her long-buried secrets surfacing. The type of secrets that could destroy not only her, but everyone she cared about. Willow's adoption of Wiley had been tumultuous, and now suspicions of concealed DNA testing and repressed medical records were threatening to derail everything. She stood abruptly, walking down the corridor, her sneakers creaking on the linoleum. Michael was in a conference across town and couldn't be reached right now, so she didn't want to bother him. Not until she learned more. Her mind raced. What if it was Nina? What if it's someone from my previous life in the cult? What if the truth about my health is revealed now, of all times? The recent scare with her own weak recovery from illness had made her hypervigilant. Every cough and suspicious look from a coworker at the hospital where she volunteered raised suspicions. Dr. Britt Westbourne straightened her white coat with practiced accuracy in a quieter section of the hospital's research wing, her expression masking a controlled urgency. She had spent the morning poring over lab results that painted a bleak picture, one she couldn't ignore anymore. Britt's own history with the Cassadine family, as well as her own health issues, had made her a staunch protector of her patients, but this warning was more personal. She grasped a tablet tightly, its screen sparkling with information that may transform people's lives. Britt had approached Willow earlier that day in a consultation room, her tone low but strong. "Willow, you should listen to me. This is not a routine checkup. The indicators are escalating faster than planned. If we don't act now, aggressive monitoring, prospective treatment adjustments, you risk consequences that will harm not only you, but also any future family planning. I am not saying this to scare you, but I have seen this before." Willow's face had become pale, her dread visible in wide eyes and shaking hands. "Please, Britt, I can't lose this. Not after all. Michael and I are finally stable. Wiley needs me whole." Her voice cracked as she rushed to say the words. Britt's ominous warning hung between them like a guillotine. Britt leaned closer, her German accent deepening with intensity. "I am giving you this caution because I care, Willow. I've battled my own demons, Huntington's, familial curses that refuse to let go. You have a chance, but you must tackle it head-on. No more hiding behind optimism. Tests." Willow continued to pace, as the discussion played back in her thoughts. Britt was not one to exaggerate. Her straightforward approach had saved numerous lives, even while she battled her own mortality in the background. Willow was pushed to her limit by the severity of the warning. She wanted to flee, pretend it wasn't happening, but the panic kept her there, forcing her to confront the fragility of her existence. Jordan Ashford, in the police commissioner's office, smashed a file folder onto her desk with enough force to rattle the picture frames. Her jaw was set in a harsh line, irritation pouring over from weeks of bureaucratic red tape and dead ends. Jordan had always been a force, tough, uncompromising, and unwavering in her pursuit of justice, but now, the pressure from the mayor's office, along with a succession of inexplicable incidents haunting Port Charles, drove her insane. "Damn. This isn't good enough," she yelled at Detective Dante Falconeri, who stood across from her with his arms crossed, his expression a mix of sympathy and weariness. "We've had anonymous indications regarding threats to hospital staff, potential disclosures of secret patient files, and now this connection to Willow Tate. I will not have my department appear incompetent when families are in risk." Dante lifted his hands, placatingly. "Jordan, we are pursuing every lead. The cyber aspect of those records is tricky. Whoever is behind this knows how to cover songs. But yelling at the team isn't going to get us answers any faster." Jordan's eyes flared with rage. Years of personal losses, her convoluted history with Curtis, the weight of being a single mother in a risky job, fueling her rant. Do you think I don't know that? I've buried too many people in this town because we were too sluggish. Willow's fear isn't just paranoia. My sources claim she's received threats related to previous incidents. Britt is also involved, investigating medical oddities that could be linked to broader conspiracies. I'm not going to let another Cassadine-style deception happen on my watch. She paced behind her desk, her heels clicking rapidly, similar to Willow's earlier frantic steps. Jordan's outburst wasn't simply professional, it was terribly personal. Port Charles had a habit of bringing up the past, and Jordan refused to let history repeat itself. She picked up the phone and dialed a number with fresh determination. Get me everything about Britt Westbourne's recent cases. Make a discreet cross-reference to Willow's file. If someone is targeting vulnerable patients, I'll use the full might of the PCPD against them. Willow found herself lured back to Britt's office, her panic now mixed with frantic determination. The two women had formed an odd relationship via their common medical struggles and strong personalities. Britt looked up from her desk as Willow entered, her expression softening despite the gravity of the situation. Willow, you returned. Good. Panic won't help. Action will. Britt passed a paper across the desk, showing charts, timetables, and potential treatment options. Every statistic reinforced her prior grave prognosis. This could be tolerable if we start making immunotherapy modifications right now. But what about ignoring it? That is a risk I will not allow you to take. I've lost too many patients due to hesitancy. And, with rumors of data breaches circulating, we must exercise extreme caution. Willow sunk into the chair opposite, tears welling up despite her best efforts to remain composed. I feel like the ground is moving beneath me. First the call, and now this. What if everything is connected? Someone wants me out of the way, because I know something about certain families in town. Britt's expression clouded. She knew the undercurrents of Port Charles better than anyone, and her own connections to the elite and dangerous made her suspicious. Possibly. That's why I've previously noted several discrepancies in the lab logs. Jordan has also been sniffing around. She contacted earlier, upset over the delays in cooperating. When lives are at stake, that woman doesn't pull punches. Minutes later, Jordan rushed through the hospital doors, commanding attention. She saw Willow and Britt in the office through the glass barrier and stormed over, her face a tempest cloud. Doctors. Willow. We need to talk. Now. The tension in the little room increased immediately. Jordan did not waste time exchanging niceties. I've received reports of threats. Your name popped up, Willow. And Dr. Westbourne, your research on genetic markers has triggered some bells in our system. Someone does not want to make this information public. I yelled at my team earlier, since time was wasting. Willow's panic reached its pinnacle as she recounted the anonymous call, her voice quivering. Britt interposed with scientific precision, describing the serious medical warnings and how patient privacy violations could lead to broader criminal activities. Jordan listened intently, nodding fiercely, her earlier frustration transformed into focused probing. These aren't coincidences, Jordan stated unequivocally. Port Charles has a long memory and old enemies do not die easily. Britt, your warning to Willow could have saved her life by forcing this talk. However, we require protection specifics. Willow, you're not going through this alone. At that moment, the three ladies formed an impromptu alliance, their separate crises intersecting. Willow felt a glimmer of hope pierce her fear, a reminder that strength comes from community, even in a town as tumultuous as Port Charles. Britt, ever the pragmatist, began sketching a medical strategy while looking to Jordan for security advice. Jordan proceeded with purpose after her lash out, texting hospital security and her detectives. Hours passed as they dug deeper. Willow related parts of her earlier worries, the cult echoes that continued to haunt her dreams. Britt shared snippets from her own difficult health battles, humanizing the gruff doctor and fostering empathy. Jordan highlighted previous situations in which medical interference resulted in catastrophe, swearing that this time would be different. By nighttime, the hospital halls had quieted, but the atmosphere in Britt's office remained intense. Willow's panic had turned into determined action, and she arranged the first round of advanced testing for the next morning. Britt's terrible warning had been heeded, and a lifeline was extended. Jordan's authoritative presence, while first unpleasant, offered the backbone of protection they required. Outside, the Port Charles skyline twinkled in the summer night. Michael finally reached Willow by phone, his voice filled with concern as she recounted the day's events. "I'm coming right there. We'll deal with this together." Jordan debriefed her squad at the police station, her earlier outburst forgotten in light of new leads. Dante gave a faint smile. "You were correct to push." Britt lingered at her workstation after the others had departed, reading notes. Her warning was more than just medical. It was a cry to arms against the unseen powers that surrounded them. She texted a valued ally, implying that more involvement was required. The day's events spread throughout General Hospital and beyond. Whispers in the nurses' station mentioned Willow's obvious discomfort, Britt's earnest consultations, and Commissioner Ashford's furious visit. In typical soap opera fashion, these connections promised additional drama. Possible discoveries about hidden paternity, corporate espionage linked to medical research, and amorous undercurrents as protectors stepped up. Willow arrived home that night, fatigued but less scared. She hugged Wiley a bit tighter, whispering assurances of safety. Britt's words echoed, confronted head-on. Jordan's determination confirmed that justice would prevail. The frightening warning prompted change, converting dread into momentum. However, in the shadows of Port Charles, invisible eyes observed. The threats weren't over. A mystery individual removed digital footprints while contemplating their next move. Britt's research could lead to more than just Willow's health, potential cures or cover-ups for wealthy families. Jordan's probe would reveal alliances and betrayals. Willow's panic, which had previously paralyzed her, was now fueling her survival instinct. As midnight came on Tuesday, July 14th, the hospital lights dimmed, but the residents' stories shone brilliantly. Love, danger, secrets, and redemption. General Hospital's heartbeat continued to draw everyone further into its web. Port Charles descended into anarchy as emotions ran high and dangerous secrets threatened to detonate. Willow Corinthos fell into a state of total fear after a sequence of stunning incidents left her feeling as if her entire life was falling around her. Willow had spent so much time attempting to rebuild her life and protect her family that she was abruptly confronted with worries she had hard fought to suppress. Every interaction appeared to add more difficulty, and every familiar face held the chance of betrayal. Her concern grew as she realized the future she had envisioned for her children was slipping away. Willow's sadness grew impossible to conceal. Her hands trembled as she battled to maintain her calm, and those closest to her realized something was very wrong. She urgently wanted to appear strong, but the rising pressure proved too much. She went into complete panic when she realized she could lose everything. Meanwhile, another surprising development occurred when Britt Westbourne issued a severe warning that sent shockwaves across Port Charles. Britt had returned with information that had the potential to affect several people's lives forever. Her look alone indicated that the situation was serious. Britt warned of the dangers that could arise if certain information were kept buried. She'd witnessed enough lying and manipulation over the years to know when calamity was on its way. Her message was clear. Someone was playing a dangerous game, and the consequences could be catastrophic. Although Britt declined to give every detail right away, her gloomy tone indicated that time was running out. She looked to be profoundly worried not only for herself, but also for others she still cared about, despite her difficult history with many Port Charles inhabitants. Her warning left some people wondering what she knew and whether old secrets were about to be revealed. Questions rapidly spread around the community. Had Britt found new evidence? Was she trying to shield someone, or was she about to expose them? At the same time, Jordan Ashford was running out of patience. Jordan, who is normally calm and professional, was forced into an emotional conflict, causing her to lash out in unexpected ways. Jordan has spent months attempting to maintain order while juggling personal and professional responsibilities. However, recent occurrences had made her unhappy and enraged. She had had enough of lies, half-truths, and individuals who refused to accept responsibility for their actions. Jordan eventually expressed her emotions after a heated exchange. Her words were filled with rage and despair as she faced those who had contributed to the current upheaval. She made it plain that she believed certain individuals were making risky judgments that could endanger innocent people. Jordan's reaction astounded everyone present. Those who knew her realized that she rarely let emotions control her, which further added to the gravity of the situation. Her frustration reflected a growing belief that Port Charles was on the verge of calamity. Willow continued to struggle with overpowering terror. She replayed previous events in her head, looking for answers and urgently trying to figure out who she could trust. Her primary concern was for her children and the stability that she had worked so hard to achieve. She was afraid that old problems would resurface. She understood that one wrong action may change everything. Willow mentioned to someone close to her that she felt confined. Every alternative appeared risky, and each selection had unpleasant consequences. Her emotional openness demonstrated how fatigued she had grown. Friends tried to soothe her, saying she wasn't alone and that solutions may still be found. However, their reassuring remarks did little to alleviate her concerns. Willow had a strong feeling that big changes were on the way. Meanwhile, Britt continued to drop hints about the unsettling knowledge she held. Her warnings sparked multiple conversations as rumors circulated quickly. Some assumed she had discovered a secret related to previous relationships, while others feared her information may lead to an even greater harm.